Because once you can see, it is indescribable. Once you can see the manipulation and the pettiness and the spirit of the world in the eyes of the servants of this system, it is something indescribable that you must experience for yourself. You are not going to find fulfillment in the world, not in race cars, not in sex, not in petty power. You are only going to find fulfillment in facing reality, to tuning in to the larger spectrum of life on this planet. And I've got news I've got to get to, and I want to give the numbers out. It's just that when I spend hours every day reading Union of Concerned Scientists, Federation of American Scientists, documents. In fact, we'll blow that up and put it on screen so I can read it for listeners. Here's a statement from the Union of Concerned Scientists warns. My crew is in there just doing what I said to do in the last segment. Just search the words I say and prepare yourself. USDA regulations would allow pharma crops to threaten food supply. A sweeping proposal from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, would place the food supply at risk from contamination by drugs and industrial chemicals produced in genetically engineered food crops. This is from many years ago. The USDA's proposed regulations would allow pharma food crops to be grown outdoors where they could contaminate crops intended for human consumption. The USDA ignored recommendations for the ban. Yes, I believe that was a decade ago. These are crops that grow toxic chemicals in them, live HIV virus, other vaccines. And these big companies have been caught in key growth belts, generally under private intelligence operatives, going into fields that have been planted and planting this in with it. And the goal is to infect everything. Then there's going to be a genetic Armageddon. Then the UN will emerge with its giant seed vaults. They won't believe it. Just search UN seed vaults. 14 global UN seed vaults. When you realize the magnitude of this cold-blooded calculation, you realize that there is nothing you can do but resist this. Why would anyone, even if you're being given money and power and status now, why would you join with something that in the near or midterm, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, that this incremental cancer, allergies, deaths, diseases, degenerative diseases are going to be absolutely ubiquitous, universal, except for the insiders. And many of them say, like Bianca, well, I know the airborne weaponized Ebola will be released soon, and I'm ready for me and my family to die. It's sad, but it's what needs to happen. They are committed to this. These are people who are like something out of another dimension. Hades itself. Event Horizon. Hellraiser. Fold Space. Whatever you want to call it. Out of a black hole. These people seek death and destruction. It is beautiful to them. They describe it in their literature as beautiful. They talk about suicidal nihilism. They are completely turned over to death. And all of us are under attack by this. You cannot make a deal with this. Let's say the devil doesn't exist. The devil does exist in the globalist mindset. It's beyond anything as a child I could imagine as a fictitious devil engaging in. The assault on the human species, the assault on the human genome, the assault on the very code of humanity, the poisoning, the manipulation. Is the end of humanity. It is the end of everything. It is the end of who we are. It is the complete turning over of our destiny and everything we are, everything we ever would have been, to a group of absolute psychopathic madmen who believe they are gods. Ray Kurzweil, talking about how he doesn't believe in God yet, but he's going to become a god. No, Ray, what you're going to do is destroy everybody, including yourself. I want to play part of this KXAN news piece as they talk about, and you can pull up national stories as they prepare the bubble schools. And soon it'll be a third of the school, half the school, then the whole school will live in bubbles and have to be under pharmacological control just to live. And they'll have to go to government to be able to have a child. They'll take your genes of you and your wife. They're already announcing this, and splice it. And then they'll be able to make decisions about how to engineer that embryo if you're allowed to breed. That's how they're going to deal with the population issue, is they're just going to make it to where people can't have children. Okay. Here's a headline from USA Today. Stomach diseases on the rise in the U.S. Complaints of the disease are on the rise in the U.S., and more people are growing ill from exposure to products containing gluten. Why are people getting sick from wheat products? Because most of the wheat is now GMO. You see, if you design corn or wheat where bugs can't eat it, well, you're a lot bigger, so it won't kill you right away like a bug. But it's going to cause problems. Your body is going to have an autoimmune response. Hey, this is bad for me. But no one will ever tell you that on the news. I'm told by folks that know him that the male anchor on that piece is actually a listener to the show. We'll say hi to them. I'm not criticizing you guys. I know you're on a short leash. But you might just type in GMO confirmed to increase allergies. I mean, big medical reports everywhere. You might want to do another report and actually tell folks what's causing this pandemic, what one of the big triggers is. All right, we're going to come right back and get into the government announcing they're going to come after silver and gold. You know, it's very painful to watch our young children turned over to the global exterminist. The Nazis went too fast, according to the transhumanist and eugenicist. And that's why Aldous Huxley and others wrote in the 50s that they would simply engineer the systems into the food, into the water. And after the fluoride, the bisphenol A, the GMO, the radioactive isotopes that the government adds to the water, there's a reason the land of the free, home of the brave is now land of the cowards, home of the slaves. There's a reason people act like they're mentally retarded. There's a reason people act dazed and look unhealthy, even if they exercise constantly. It's because you're being savaged by a chemical, biological warfare operation. And as Dr. Nick Begich has pointed out, that's only part of it. Then there's the frequency pollution. They now admit, oh yeah, cell phones will give you brain cancer. But we told you that after you'd been using them for 20 years and had addicted yourself to them. Now give your kids a cell phone. It is a savage program. But when you study the elites, they will not use cell phones. They all live in rural areas outside cities. They all are obsessed with organic food and have private jets following them around with their own chefs and tightly controlled food. They go do special cleansing programs. They know exactly what they're doing. Notice Glenn Beck is not moving to inside Dallas. He's moving to between Austin and Dallas to a fortified compound in the woods. I've done the same thing. Yeah, he knows what's going on. I have some comments on Glenn Beck later. I got some more intel on exactly what he's planning. He's going to have like a TV network based out of Dallas that's going to be kind of Christianoid. That's where all the big TV preachers are based, or most of them. And it's going to be that same model. It's going to be a weird Christianoid kind of Robert Tilton type deal with lots of end of the world type things and other stuff going on. So that's the model he's going to go along with. You know, people that are saying the world's going to end all the time. The atheists even believe in 2012, a lot of them, and the mainline government-run Christians, I think the end of the world's next week. It's all about thinking the end of the world's here, so you'll lay down and not be involved. So you'll lay down and not be informed. So you'll think, oh, the history's over anyways, so I might not, you know, even get involved to defend my own family. They're giving you a defeatist attitude. What did Tokyo Rose say, even as the United States approached the coast of bombed-out Japan? She would broadcast on the shortwave and on the AM to the ships, playing American music and saying, I'm so sorry for you, GI. Your armies have all been defeated. Your ships have all been sunk. We're waiting for you to kill you in Japan. There's no way you can win, GI. It's all over. Your sweetheart will never see you again. And so they had Thundar the Barbarian back in the 80s and all these other countless movies and shows since then about the end of the world and the preachers telling you and Israel's going to get nuked and World War III is going to happen and it's all over. So why should you be involved in Comet Elena and Nibiru and Planet X and they never arrive on time? Meanwhile, the Armageddon, the Holocaust is in your food and your water. Meanwhile, the globalists are going ahead with their world government, poisoning and murdering and killing. But the group that should be fighting the Christians are saying, it's the end. Praise God, they're pushing for chips and kids in school. That means Jesus is about to come back. Soon we'll be teleported off the face of the earth. Justice be done, may the heavens fall. Do you think, if you believe all that God's going to take you into his bosom when you wouldn't stand up against evil here? Most of you mainline Christians are going straight to Hades. You don't need me to tell you that humanity is in a deep crisis. Everyone can feel it. We know a tectonic struggle is now taking place between the forces of freedom and those who love darkness, bondage, and enslavement. Yes, my friends, evil is rising. But take heart, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Recently, New World Order operative Hillary Clinton admitted they're losing the info war.
We are in an information war, and we are losing that war.
The globalists are scared. They've overreached. The future of the info war is in your hands. Join prisonplanet.tv. Download the thousands of special video reports, ebooks, and more, and get them out to everyone you know. Continue to spread the word about the broadcast on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and every other globalist propaganda platform. We are going to use their system against them. The info war now goes into high gear.